too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows, I've been on the road, I don't care where I go, as long as I can get paid. Bad little fire, she been on my mind, soon as I get back, she get straight. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise, every other night another movie getting made. Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows, I've been on the road, I don't care where I go, as long as I can get paid. Bad little fire, she been on my mind, soon as I get back, she get straight. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise, every other night another movie getting made.
I'm not in competition with my homies, I'm women in competition in the boat. I knew my opposition never knew me, they wouldn't be opposition if they know me. I made a proposition to my hitters, I told them to knock it down if you owe me. I did the sock round, hit the building with moving. Got pound, then I thought them niggas got knocked down. We was on my homie, I hot now, so we on. I was like 16 with the leg on me, keeping it feel like it's power. But it was 15, niggas cracking me when they got real, try to slide on. I made some hands with the guys on it, we keeping it real, niggas now. How you feel?
Got a lot of blood and it's cold. They keep trying to get me for my soul. Thankful for the women that I know. Can't go 50-50 with no hope. Every month, I'm supposed to pay her bills and get her what she want. I still got like 7 years of doing what I want. My dad still got child support from 1991. Out of town, people love to pop a lot of shit and come around. Word of Flacco Jody, he done seen us put it down. That's a Liverpool upset.
FYF Sports, man. It's Lamont. We back. NCAA Tournament action. And y'all know I could not gloss over or not do a live stream on the team I'm most closely affiliated, Grand Canyon University. The Lopes made a run of winning 4 games in 5 days in the WAC tournament. A year with a lot of ups and downs. This player starting point guard, Javon Blackshear, goes down with an injury. Inconsistency, injuries to the bigs. We had to bring a guy, and I think it was Isaiah Carr, a freshman who was originally redshirting, had to activate him, bring him in because we were short on bigs. I mean, and then it just felt like a year where everybody on this team was just trying to figure things out. And it was just a matter of, we see the talent, right? We see what these units can do, right? Ray Harrison was really carrying this team for most of the year, scoring-wise, while the others were trying to catch up. And so it was all a matter of, when will it all come to fruition? So we got to talk about this game. This game's about to start. When this game starts live, we're going to move on. We're going to get to the live scoreboard. We're going to follow that game play by play. Because, man, when you look at the matchups, when you look at the year that Gonzaga's having, when you look at the types of players that Grand Canyon has this year, there is a potential for an upset there that I don't think a lot people are giving Bryce Drew and the Lopes credit for. We got to talk about the day. Look, obviously right now, when we go through all these games that have been played so far, if you want to lie and try to say your bracket isn't broken right now, then you must be crazy, because I think everybody's bracket got broken probably within the first 6 hours. All right, so let's go through some game scores as this GCU game prepares to get started, and then we're going to get to some live scores right now. Obviously, there's some big games going on right now, some big-time implications that I do want to talk about. Hold on, let me get to the comments, man. Make sure I'm seeing these comments. Salute to everybody in the comments, man. Nicholas Brown, Ricky E245. He says, what's up? Look, man, normally I'm a betting person. I'll play the odds and stuff, on Hard Rock Sportsbook, FanDuel. I couldn't do it, man. It's just something telling me, like, and I have a pet peeve. And then Jason Brown, a lot of college basketball as well. It's something about teams that have non-pattern NBA level scores. And if you don't know who Ray Harrison is, that's the type of scorer that he is. He makes scoring the basketball look so easy. And when you look, and you got, yes, says Gonzaga's winning easily, but the one thing that we've seen in this tournament Like, and I don't mind. I understand the sentiment. I understand where you come in and you would say Gonzaga's winning easily. But nothing in this tournament has been easy for anybody. If we even look at the games right now, Purdue is down a 1 seed. They're down to a 16, 27-28. We just watched Houston going up against going to a 16 seed, struggle that entire game. We just saw Xavier against Kennesaw State barely scraped by. They was down big. I think they got down by 17 at one point in that game. I thought Xavier was headed home. I mean, nothing's been easy. Nothing's been easy. Obviously, we already saw West Virginia. Not West Virginia. We saw Virginia go down in a flame of glory. Obviously, if you're watching that Virginia game, I mean, as a coach myself, I'm watching that play at the end of the game, and it's just like, why? Right? You don't get to that point in the tournament and then completely forget to value the basketball. And that is probably, for me, one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen a player make in live game ever. All right, but it looks like this GCU game has started, so we're going to go ahead and get to this scoreboard right here. I'm going to switch over to the scoreboard. We're going to follow this game. You said Gonzaga's better than all those teams. Yeah, but Gonzaga's also had their ups and downs too this year, and they've also had their own struggles. So, I mean, it's easy to jump to certain conclusions, but, I mean, you never know. You never know. Let's go ahead and get to the scoreboard. All right, we got our scoreboard right here. So, obviously, we're going to be following this score. Oh, let me clean this up so we can see it. And then as you guys come in, we're just going to be watching the ebbs and flows of this game because I expect it to change. I expect it to change. I expect this game to be made of a ton of runs. I don't see this being a blowout. I definitely see Gonzaga really putting up a lot of points, and the Grand Canyon struggled to defend consistently this year. And then as we see right there, Gonzaga, they're 2 for 2 from the field. They go up 4-0. Purdue University, they're still struggling. Purdue University is down 29-30 in that matchup right there. We got Kentucky, a team that I picked to go pretty far, 17-18. They're down by 1 point to a well-coached Providence team. And yes, in the chat, he says, yes, I see a blowout. All right, but hey, you very well may see that. But as it stands right here, Gonzaga is up on Grand Canyon. We're going to see where it goes. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think, and then right now, as I see GCU starting the game off with 3 turnovers, leads to a 3-pointer by Gonzaga. This is ultimately the worst case scenario for GCU. Worst case scenario, less than in literally the first minute and a half of the game. I think they've given up the basketball, not valuing the possession themselves. They've given up the basketball 3 times. Those turnovers are all leading to points. What's going on there? I'm about to actually tune into the game because when I see teams turn the ball over that early in the game, to me, that's nerves. I believe that's a bit of nerves right there. And what's going on with y'all? Were y'all not game ready enough to execute early in game? I understand after teams make adjustments, but what's going on early in game for you to be playing to this degree? Let me pull the game up on my phone, man. Man, make sure y'all salute. And look, make sure y'all let me know y'all bracket predictions now. Based on what we've seen in the chat, let me know, has your predictions on who you think's going to win it all changed? Right? Now that certain teams are out, has a pathway to get to the Final Four been opened up for another team you might not have predicted to go as far? I think with Arizona losing, creates some gaps in there, especially with them losing to a Princeton team that's probably going to get bounced in the second round. The one team that surprised me the most, the one team that looked like they could get to the Sweet 16 without a problem is Furman. Furman looked legit. They felt like a mid-major, not a low major. They felt like a very good mid-major when I was watching them play. So I see there's a possibility there where Furman can get to the Sweet 16. But by Furman advancing potentially, that creates an easier path for another higher seeded team. So we got to see how that ultimately maps out. Miles says, I got Duke going the distance. Duke, and there's something to be said about a team, Miles, that figures it out late season. When you peak at the end of the season, like Duke has done, like we obviously know how they started out the year, but when you peak at the end of the season, I think right now they're probably the best defensive and offensive team when you kind of putting the two in a bag. I think they have the best balance of both. Wisdom Warrior says Gonzaga is suspect defensively. Grand Canyon is going to settle in. I hope that they settle in. And the one thing that they cannot do, Muhammad, you said you need a free live stream link. Obviously, we can't give out free live stream links, but Muhammad, you should be able to watch the game free if you download the March Madness app. Just download the March Madness app. Just click on the GCU game. You should be able to pull it up. That's exactly what I'm about to do right now because I got to figure out what's going on. Obviously, GCU misses another shot right there, 2-point shot. And I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's execution. I don't know if it's defense. But they're going to have to slow this Gonzaga team down if they want to have a chance. All right. They're not going to be able – they cannot allow Gonzaga to get going because they're not going to outscore this Gonzaga team. That's one thing they can't do. They're not going to outscore them. Gonzaga has the size on the interior, so GCU, team full of small guards, they're going to have to do what they did best in the WAC tournament. They got to make threes. That starts with Noah Bauman, Ray Harrison, Kobe Knox. All those guys, they got to find ways to make shots. We're 3 minutes into this game. They don't have a point on the board. So I'm tuning into the game now. But GCU is struggling. Kentucky goes up 3 on Providence. That's a team. I think Kentucky, they're going to make a run this year because of the pressure. Oh, Muhammad says, I can't download the app because I'm not in the U.S. Hey, if you're not in the U.S., then just stick around here and follow the game. Hey, but your homie Derek, the unfortunate reality, he just riding the pine right now. He's a red shirt. So, I know you want to tune in to watch the guys play, but your homie, he's riding a pine right now. He's going to be back next year. From what the players have been telling me, they say he's special. They say he's an athlete. But he's riding a bench right now. Just like because GCU also took one of my club players from the GCU club basketball team. David Black, he's moving up, but he's on the bench, red shirt and right with Derek. So. The one thing about Dave is Dave's a winner, man. Just his presence alone, whether he's on the bench or whether he's on the court, I see that. I've already seen that rub off on the guys ever since Dave added him to the squad. And, as Gabe McLaughlin, Gabe is one of the older vets on this team, a guy that's well-traveled, a guy that's started on the JUCO level, moved up into the D1 level, right? Has a lot of years of experience. They're going to have to lean heavy on him, and they're going to have to rely on him defensively to guard Drew Timme. They don't have a ton of size options, right? Obviously, Grand Canyon plays their best when they play small because their bigs are not very skilled. All right, but as the guy said in the chat, GCU settling in. It's 10-6 right now. Not too crazy, but and Chance McMillan with a bucket right there. Can they calm down? Yes, sir. Ricky 245. They're making a run right now. Ray Harrison gets the layup, gives them 6 points. I know the game I'm watching, I'm a little bit behind, so my apologies. So the score that you see on the board right here is going to be a little head of the feet that I'm watching. Who I got winning it all? Based on what I'm seeing, like now that I got to go with, I got a couple teams that I think can win it all. I think Duke can win it. Obviously, I think Kansas' path is paved, much easier path. And then I still like Alabama. Those are the three teams. It's hard. I mean, we see Purdue right now. They're down at halftime to the 16. And Fairleigh Dickinson University, that coach said it, man. That coach said it after they won the play-in game. He says, I've been watching a ton of Purdue basketball. He says, I think we can beat them. And they are up at half by 1 point on the number 1 seed Purdue Boilermakers, man. So we got to see how this pans out. He says, great possession. Yeah, man, look, can they settle down? We have 15:54 left in the half. Can they settle down and make a run? You said FDU is fun to watch. I haven't even actually watched them, right? Because this game is going on. Normally, I would be watching the Purdue game. Obviously, I got the ties to Purdue. So normally, but it's at the same time as this game. So now I got to pick between both. All right, but Gonzaga, they're up 10-6 on the Lopes. Can the Lopes mount a run? And I think this is a game where GCU is going to have to find a way to play from ahead. They're not. I don't know if they have the depth to stay in a tight game or stay down 4 to 10 points the entire game. I don't know if they have the depth to sustain late game. I think they have to play from ahead. They've kind of been a front-running team all year as it is. Yeah, obviously GCU's my team, but if I'm going with the common sense approach, the three teams that I really think have a real legitimate chance to making a run, Duke, Alabama, and Kansas. Those are the three teams. Everybody else has kind of shown me signs of shakiness. And IU, I don't trust IU. They haven't played. They play later today. I think Memphis can make a Final Four run. I mean, if you think about this, let's say Purdue goes down, Memphis can make a Final Four run. And Penny Hardaway's been itching to get an opportunity to supply and put his name on that program. All right. But I want y'all, as this day progresses on, let's not overlook Kent State. I believe Kent State can eliminate the Hoosiers. But the one thing that's been tricky about this tournament is that the teams that have been playing average to below average basketball, they'll hop in this tournament and then all of a sudden sometimes wake up and then make a crazy run. Where's the Warriors? What does he say about the underdogs? He says he got some underdogs going on there. He says, I feel Kansas and Duke going to get knocked out. I don't know. It just depends on who. Right now, I don't see a team that can beat Duke. Not in this field right here. Grand Canyon knocks down another shot. They knock down a 3-point shot, cut the lead down. It's 10-9. This is what they got to do, right? We saw Gonzaga get off to that hot start. Grand Canyon's mounted the run of their own, right? Cut the deficit down to 1. Now it's going to be about getting stops and not fouling. GCU's been one of their biggest problems this year. They've been a team that fouls a lot. And because they're undersized, sometimes great scorers make tough shots on them because they can't contest as well as other teams because of their lack of size. But their best lineup is their small lineup when they move Gabe to the center. You said Kent dominated the MAC. Man, Kent is nice, y'all. It will not surprise me at all if Kent State beats IU. It will not surprise me at all. Grand Canyon with the rebound, 4 rebounds on the night. Gonzaga misses another shot, and GCU comes down and takes the lead with another 3-point shot, 12-10. And somebody in the chat called it. GCU will make a run. GCU will make a run, and that's now what we've seen. Now what we know is Bryce Drew calls the timeout. He calms the guys down. GCU with the ball again, but he calmed the guys down, and what did he do? Calm down. Let's just run our stuff. Let's execute. But GCU with the 12-10 lead, 14 minutes to go in this first half. Man, I'm telling y'all, this NCAA tournament this year has been very, very crazy. Gonzaga with the ball in the post. Offensive foul on Gonzaga right there. Another turnover. So now we saw GCU start the game off having their own turnover woes. But now Gonzaga's having their turnover woes. Man, this is going to be a good game right here. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. 300 people in here. Ricky E245, man. I got to push for the Lopes, man. As soon as I saw them, Ricky, as soon as I seen them get matched up against Gonzaga, the first thing that came to my mind, I said, they can win. That's the first thing I said. I said, they can win that game. It's a lot of other 3 seeds that they probably wouldn't have been able to beat, but I said, they can beat Gonzaga. And when I'm watching teams like St. Mary's and some of the teams in that WCC conference really give Gonzaga a run for their money, I said, I know GCU can do that. They got to avoid foul trouble. Gabe, Ray, Noah, these guys, especially Noah and Gabe. Noah and Gabe cannot get in foul trouble. 2 of the more experienced players. You're talking about Noah Bauman, a guy that's been in like 5 different D1s colleges. A lot of experience under his belt. Been to the NCAA tournament. Cannot get in foul trouble. And he was in foul trouble a lot. He was in foul trouble a lot in the WAC tournament. Look at Gabe. They gave Gabe a cheap foul down there, and Gabe has a tough job battling down there with Drew Timme. Are the refs going to let them play? Are the refs going to let them play? All right. That's going to be one of the biggest keys there. I mean, when you think of the job, y'all, I don't know if y'all follow. You says Udriago can take away Timme. Udriago, here's the problem, Wisdom Warriors. Udriago, great defensively. Absolutely atrocious on the offensive side of the ball. And when I say atrocious, I'm talking about horrible. I'm talking about, I don't know if he can score at the high school level. Great defensively, can defend anybody. Can go vertical, can clog up the paint. Really smart out of the pick and rolls, right? Doesn't make a ton, and he rebounds the hell out of the ball, but offensively, he's kind of like a black hole. Luckily, the ball doesn't stick in their offense too much, and they don't become too easy to defend. But they're much better when he's not on the floor, especially let's say they get the lead and they need to put an offensive lineup in. That's when you send them to the bench. You says facts. He misses bunnies. Yes, man. He misses bunnies. He doesn't have any post moves. Really no coordination on the offensive side of the ball. But everything else, man, I can't complain. So I understand why Bryce Drew has to put him on the floor. Right. The one thing I want to see GCU, because I don't want to see GCU fall in love with 3-point shots so much so that they aren't attacking getting this team into foul trouble. Like they just missed another 3-point shot. And those are basically one and done possessions where you're not applying any pressure to this Gonzaga defense. I think you got to find ways to get Drew Timme in foul trouble. Drew Timme gets a good block right there on Ray Harrison. If you guys are watching the game, but that's a good block. But you got to, even if he gets those blocks, you got to keep attacking him. You got to find ways to continuously attack him. And just let him know that, look, yeah, we can make the 3-ball, but we will be driving this thing as well. Chance with a bad 3 late in the shot clock. Guess they had to get a shot up right there. Salute to everybody watching. Yeah, and I see everybody watching on the Facebook page, and people are watching here on YouTube as well. Man, appreciate you guys coming through, supporting. Salute to everybody here commenting in the chat right now. Darius Warren says GCU is settling. Yeah, they're settling. But, I expect Gonzaga to make some adjustments. Bryce Drew does a good job of running a ton of NBA sets. He runs an NBA style offense, and it's tough. It's very tough to defend because you have a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of, they really they toe the line on those screens, those off ball screens. Where the ball isn't involved, they toe the line and they get extremely physical on those off-ball screens with these NBA action. This is why guys like Ray and Chance and even Noah can get off and get easy shots a lot of the time. So let's see if they can capitalize, though, because the score's been stuck at 12-10 for a minute. Now, I think, and then they miss another 3, a 3 that was blocked. I think now is the opportunity. This is the time. That they got to start attacking the basket. Those free throw buckets right now that can push the lead up to 14-10, push the lead up to 15-10, right? While they're struggling, because right now they have to adjust. He says Timme can't guard for real on the perimeter. I know, and GCU's going to exploit that. They're going to exploit that. That's all right. They can't get rattled. I mean, Gonzaga's going to make some good plays. They can't get rattled, though. 12 minutes to go in this half. Yeah, with Timme on the bench, they got to exploit that. And when Timme goes to the bench, if I'm Bryce Drew, I'm going to my small lineup. You got Josh Baker on that bench you can bring in. You got a ton of guys you could bring in that give you versatility. Another turnover for Gonzaga right there. Gonzaga's struggling. And Bryce Drew was one of him, his brother runs in the family. They're some of the best defensive coaches in the country, y'all. Some of the best in the country. This coaching staff, man, Jamal Walker, Casey Shaw, this coaching staff, they've done an elite job of coaching this group up defensively and then getting them to kind of play above standard offensively. All right, GCU misses another shot right there. But they're fouling a tad too much. They keep sending Gonzaga to this free throw line. It's going to get them in trouble. It's going to get them in trouble. They got to start defending without fouling. All right, y'all thoughts on some of these other games that are going on? What are y'all thoughts? Purdue down by 1 at half. Kentucky up 36-25. All right, this game we watching right here, we got the Miami-Drake game, which, again, is another sleeper team in Drake. Drake is known for pulling off these upsets. And then we got the Memphis FAU game. We got Kansas State, Montana State, and then we got the upset waiting to happen in Indiana, Kent State. All right, give me y'all thoughts on these games. Gonzaga ain't scored in 5 minutes, and that could be. But there's two things you can take away from that. The good in that is that means GCU's playing defense. The bad in that is it means GCU ain't scoring either. I mean, if a team ain't scored in 5 minutes and you ain't scored with them either, well, geez. Come on, yeah, you gotta have to clean that one up. All right. I'm gonna see if Purdue comes out this second half with some new energy. They're gonna have to wake up. Purdue's gonna have to wake up. All this stuff going on. Anybody following the women's tournament, or are they doing another? Are the women also doing another bad job this year of promoting the women's tournament? I have no idea what's going on in the women's tournament. I keep getting links asking me to fill out a bracket. It's like, for what? I don't know what the hell's going on. Who these teams are. Only one team I know in college basketball is South Carolina. Oh, and the other team, I don't know the team she coaches, but I know Sydney Carter. Don't know the team she coaches, but she's definitely a coach. If you guys don't know her, make sure y'all go check her out. She does a great job coaching, I think. Easy on the eyes. Hold on. What we got going on today, man? Biggest upset so far in the tournament, y'all. Who y'all got? What was the biggest upset? Was it Arizona losing to Princeton? That Princeton team did not look like one of the typical Princeton teams of the past. They had that big in the middle. Told y'all these NIL deals is screwing up these powerhouses. These Power 5 teams is getting screwed over by NIL. Wild. All right, we got to fix my camera. You said you picked Princeton? Ooh, man, that's tough right there. Oh yeah, yeah. Ricky, you know who I'm talking about. You know Sydney Carter. Grand Canyon with the ball, right? Can they capitalize on the lead? Right, halfway through the first half. They're for the most part holding their own Would like to see them do a little bit more offensively as they score a bucket right there. GCU, who's 4-9 from the field, they go up 14-12. So it looks like they finding an offensive stride right there. And just like I talked to you guys with, and I think Jason Brown confirmed, they have a guy on that team in Ray Harrison who can play in the NBA. And when you have that type of player, when you have that type of scorer alone can take you far in the NCAA tournament. We saw Carson Edwards do it. We saw Kemba Walker do it. I mean, it's very possible. GCU with the ball inside, another miss, free throw. Gonzaga with the rebound, 8 rebounds on the night. The Gonzaga's not giving the Lopes any second chance points. All right, none right there, but Gonzaga comes down, ties the game up 14-14. We got Drake. Drake starts this game off with a 5-2 lead versus Miami. That game has started as well. GCU, the time is ticking. GCU with the ball right here. They held the they withstood the first Gonzaga run. Gonzaga jumped out to a 7-0 run. They were able to hold them scoreless for about 5 minutes, but they haven't been able to capitalize since their own flurry. GCU scores another bucket right there, another 2-point shot. They go up 16-14, and as time ticks in these games, y'all, it starts to become more even, right? If GCU can stay in this range of keeping it close, and we're down to 2 to 3 minutes, now seeding, none of that matters. And Gonzaga knocks down a 3, takes the lead by 1, 17-16. So Gonzaga, I knew their offense would eventually wake up. GCU doesn't have any room for a ton of breakdowns, man. They're going to have to execute. 9 minutes to go in this first half. Foul on Gonzaga. Yeah, GCU is going to have to execute it. GCU at the free throw line, shooting 2. And we know that the Lopes, man, they send a hellified fan base down there. They send a fan base down there to support this team, as they always do. Jason Brown says, I've been seeing a lot of teams struggling to guard the low post so far in the tournament this year. Yeah, but the teams that have been able to defend, like Xavier, their ability to defend the low post is what saved them, because that guard got into the lane, and that probably would have been a wide open layup. Luckily, that big came from the weak side and got the block to save him. So, I mean, UConn has a pretty good big. We got to see how Zach Edey's doing. I'm not able to watch the Purdue game. Maybe you guys can kind of update me on how that's going. But it looks like the 16 seed is really doing a good job of containing Edey and those freshman guards. I told you guys how I would defend that Purdue team. It'd be a ton of ball pressure on those freshman guards that they have. But it looks like that 16 seed is giving Purdue all they can handle right now. As GCU knocks down both free throws, they get the lead back 18-17 right there. And like I said, we got the other games going right now. We got Kentucky up by 7 on Providence, 38-31. And then we got Drake still up on Miami 5-3 as that game just gets underway. So Gonzaga with the ball, 9:21 left in the half. Ball is out of bounds on Gonzaga. Oh, actually out of bounds on GCU. My bad. No, it's back. It's GCU ball. 417 people in the building. But make sure y'all smash the like. Hit the subscribe if you're new. All right. We following these games. We doing some NCAA tournament coverage. Obviously, there's a little bit of favoritism here for the GCU Lopes. All right, but we just here to really see a good basketball game, to see the Lopes get back to the NCAA tournament, and then be competitive, not just get here. Right? There's much fanfare made about them getting here. Now get here and win as GCU knocks down another 3, takes a 21-17 lead. 21-17 lead on Gonzaga. And now they're looking to extend the lead as Gonzaga misses another 3. GCU gets their 11th rebound of the night. They're rebounding well, similar to Gonzaga, not giving up a ton of second chance points. As GCU scores another bucket right there, puts them up 23-17. I keep telling y'all, I just got a funny feeling about this game. I had a funny feeling. Wisdom Ward says Zach Edey is dominant. Purdue just isn't good enough, in my opinion. Same problem they had with St. Peter's last year. And, I don't understand what's going on with Painter in the NCAA tournament. Why does Matt Painter become so easy to coach against in these one and done types of games? Why? Right? Is it his unwillingness to kind of mold his offense into something that's more flexible? He has I don't know if he's kind of like addicted to just feeding the ball over and over to the post, even if it's not working. All right, maybe this is a game where he's going to have to go to one of his young power forwards. Put PD on the bench and just go small. But Fairleigh Dickinson, 37-34, they're making a game out of this versus Purdue. This is crazy right here. Matt Painter's going to have to step it up. There's LaFonso Ellis. They're showing him on the screen right there. A lot of people don't know his son plays, Walter Ellis. His son plays for the Lopes. He transferred from the state of Indiana. And he's a sniper, not as good as his dad, but definitely a sniper. And, just glad to have him down here. All right. As GCU fouls the three-point shooter, that's one of Walter Ellis's problems. He does foul a ton. He's a good defender, great defender at that. He does foul a ton. Salute to Real Takes Over Fake Debates. He says, salute Lamont in the chat. GCU up right now. Hey, it's not surprising to me. Might be surprising to y'all, but if you understand the dynamics of this team, you would understand that this is not a big deal. What is surprising to me is Purdue being down 35-37 to a 16 seed. All right. Some of y'all got y'all bets in. Y'all talking about some of y'all bets. I mean, for me to hit big, GCU has to win. All right. For me to hit big, I need this Purdue to go ahead and pan out. Purdue's going to have to wake up. 16 minutes to go in the second half for Purdue, man. And they're down one. I'm assuming they're at the free throw line, but I don't know what's going on with the Boilermakers over there. Matt Painter's got some work to do, man. He's going to get their act together. They're going to have to get back to defending something. But it shouldn't be a close game with the FDU Knights. We got Gonzaga at the free throw line. They're 3 of 5 from the free throw line on the night. But let me get some links in here real quick. All right. Make sure y'all supporting, man. Make sure y'all support your boy. If you can, hit that Cash App to support, man. $ FYF Sports, man. It'd be all much appreciated. All right, that's going to be in the chat, man. Anything you can do, anything you give, it all goes right back into the content that we put out here. So, again, support FYF Sports. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. We got a ton of content. He said the Hurricanes are looking shaky. Wisdom Warriors, I don't know if it's the Hurricanes looking shaky or if it's just Drake is just good. I believe Drake is just a good team. When I saw that matchup, this is one of the reasons why when I was doing my parlays, that Miami-Drake matchup was one I just wanted to stay away from. Right. I loved Penn State. That was one that I had in my parlay. I love West Virginia. The one that I got wrong was I had USC over Michigan State. I thought USC would be able to pull that one out. So I mean, not hitting on them all, but for the most part, I've been on the 7-10 games and on the 8-9 games. I've been on the money with those. Gonzaga misses a free throw. This is another one. Ebbs and flows of this game are crazy. Oh, I almost forgot. He gets 3 free throws. But he knocks that one down. 23-19. 23-19. Can GCU stick to the game plan? Weather any of the storms. Weather the storms. Not fall in love with too many threes. Find a way to attack the rim and keep pressure applied. As Gonzaga comes down, they knock down another 2-point shot. They cut that lead down to 2 points, 23-21. Because I didn't think Pittsburgh would beat Iowa State. I didn't think they would either until I actually saw them play in that play-in game. And I said they got a chance. And then and the one thing that I saw was Iowa State's weakness is they struggled to score the ball. And that's exactly what we saw against Pittsburgh. GCU with the ball, 23-21. Weak side 3, they get another 3. They're 5 of 11 from the three-point line. And this is how they were able to run through the whack, by knocking down three-point shots consistently. Like if we get to the stats, this is Iowa State season change when they dismissed Caleb. He was a spark plug offensively. I'm not sure who Caleb is. You got to tell me why he got why he got dismissed. All right, so when we talk about this game right here, we got Ryan Harrison with 4 points. Chance McMillan, again, one of the more underrated players on this team, 4 points. So we got a lot going on. GCU with the ball, 6 minutes to go in this first half. Has GCU surprised y'all? So a lot of people thought this was going to be a blowout. If you went to all the sports books, a lot of the sports books was basically saying they don't have a chance. But now as they score another bucket right there, because it looks like they got their scoring groove going now. They score another bucket. They go up 28-21 on the Zags. 28-21 on the Zags. Did anybody predict this? Is it GCU offense and defense, or is it just bad Gonzaga? And this was one of my fears of Gonzaga when I watched them play this year. When I watched them get beat by 20 plus points by the Purdue Boilermakers, I started to question them then. I said, is this the same Gonzaga? And similar to Matt Painter, Mark Few runs an offense that can become stagnant and very easy to defend. Right? He runs a lot of continuity sets where he brings both of his bigs to the high elbows. And what they try to do is they try to pick on the weakest defender. But Gonzaga is able to score 2 points right there. 28-23 is the score. GCU with 5 minutes to go in the half. We got this Purdue game going. Purdue is still down 3. Purdue struggling to score 5 minutes into that half. They ain't put no points on the board, basically, essentially. Not sure what's going on with them. But I'm going to have to switch over to that game just to give it a quick follow, see what's going on with that. GCU misses another shot. I'm gonna switch over to this Purdue game real quick because, man, if Purdue loses, that would for the few remaining perfect brackets that are out there, that would most definitely destroy them all. All right, Gonzaga with a timeout. They kind of cut into the lead, so Gonzaga is doing a good job of not letting Grand Canyon pull away too far. I don't believe that Gonzaga has the offense, the way they're playing tonight. I don't know if they have the offense to come back from a 10, 15-point deficit. So they're going to have to find a way to defend and keep it close as FDU goes up 41-36 on the Boilermakers. But Zach Edey comes right back with an and one layup. He's going to the free throw line. He's going to be going to the free throw line to cut into this lead. They got to find a way to play faster and get going. And they're small, too. When I'm looking at this FDU team, they are small. The fact that Purdue's struggling is crazy. Edey with 14 points, 8 rebounds. Yeah, Teddy boy, I don't know what's going on with Purdue. Don't know what's going on there. That's surprising to me as well. I mean, hopefully they can get it together. I don't know. I just this tournament is so weird because when you're in these one and done types of games, so I always tell people in these one and done types of games, it's very rare that the best team always wins. The NCAA tournament is designed for excitement. It is not designed for the best team to win. Come on, GCU misses a 2-point shot right there. And Gonzaga doing what they do best, not giving up second chance points. 4 minutes to go in the half. Gonzaga misses a shot of their own, but they get the offensive rebound. and they scored the ball. 8 for 17 on the field, scores 28 to 27, 47% on the day for the Zags. Can GCU get their offense going to close out this half? What you don't want to do if you're the Lopes is you don't want to do all this work to build up a lead and then lose it right before halftime so that you're going into halftime losing. Because Zaga would have foul right there, possibly to send the Lopes to the free throw line. I believe it is. But Purdue's able to tie the game up 41 to 41. Is this where the tides turn? Is this where the tides turn right here? All right. A lot of these teams, especially these lower seeds, are playing on pure adrenaline and hype. Once that wears off, what do you have in the tank? I think that's what happened to Kennesaw State. Playing off a lot of hype and adrenaline. When that wore off, are you able to sustain and play with some of the best teams in the country? Myron says there isn't. He says there isn't that one dominant team this year. Everybody is vulnerable. I agree. Everybody is vulnerable. And that's why I say this could potentially be the year where we see a 7 or 8 seed win it all. Like, would it surprise anybody in here if Memphis won it all? I don't believe so. It would not surprise me a lick. I know, Teddy boy. Memphis don't really like. I mean, obviously the goal of the tournament is just to get to the Final Four and give yourself a shot. Nobody truly cares who you got to play to get there. I mean, if you can get to the Final Four and all you got to play is a 16 seed and a 9 seed or something, just get there. However you got to get there. You think it's designed for more experienced players? I don't think so. Purdue takes the lead though, 43 to 41. Mason Gillis, one of my favorite players on that team, looks like they finally waking up. 12 minutes to go in that half. So we'll see how it goes. But it looks like Purdue finally got a little bit of grips on the game, using their size and will to dominate the smaller FDU. We got GCU with the ball. Princeton and Furman will win it all. No, I don't believe they win it all. Rich Rash. I do believe Furman has another win under their belt, though. I do believe Furman can win another one. When I saw them play, y'all, they are really good. They are not your typical low major school. They play like more of a high mid-major. They are really good. I know it was a bit surprising the way the game ended with that Virginia player literally making one of the dumbest basketball plays that I've ever seen in my life. He made that error without pressure or anything. He was getting trapped, but it wasn't one of those traps where you panic. Not to that degree. That's a tough pill to swallow the way they lost. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. All right, Purdue with a 3-point lead, 44. It looks like they Purdue. It looks like Purdue is starting to wake up. Whereas GCU has a bad pass and turns the ball over to Gonzaga. Purdue's up 46-41. So now we can move off that game. I just don't see. I definitely don't see. I don't see FDU coming back from this. But GCU got to stop turning the ball over. It seems like every time they turn that ball over, it leads and turns into points for Gonzaga. They got to find a way to clean up these possessions and maximize every offensive possession that they get. At least get a shot on goal. They're able to score right there. They're shooting 44% on the night. They take the lead, but Gonzaga comes right back with a bucket of their own. 30-31. Looks like a back and forth affair right now. What team is going to be able to get some separation? Rich Rash, facts. The guy from Virginia just threw the ball up for grabs. I don't know what he was thinking. He actually had a guy wide open on his wing. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't understand the motivation behind it. I don't understand his thought process. Just panicking as GCU is able to get a bucket right there, right? Take the lead back. It's a crazy back and forth affair. And this is, you can't ask for more. Right? If you Bryce Drew and you go to the half and this game is tied or you guys only up or down by 1 or 2 points, that's a win for the Lopes. That's a win for the Lopes. As Gonzaga is able to get another bucket right there, they take the lead 33-32. They're going back and forth. He says they said take GCU in the points. Well, at this moment right now, you want to take GCU in the points. See, the good thing for me is I took GCU before the game started. And if GCU and Purdue win on my parlay, I'm looking at a nice little payout. Or if GCU just stays in, they might offer me a cash offer to close my ticket out. So we'll see how it goes. But as GCU has been counter of their own. We've seen that a lot of possessions over the last 4 minutes or so. Now they're just going back and forth. Offense. As opposed to earlier in this half, we were saying defense. GCU misses that shot. Gonzaga with their 18th rebound of the night. They're not giving points. Gonzaga with that 1-point lead. Probably going to be looking to extend it as they make a 3-point shot right there, pushing their lead up to 4 points. Headed, getting close to halftime, 1 minute to halftime. And like I said, this is what they don't want to do. You don't want to spend the majority of the half up, playing with a ton of confidence, and then find yourself going down and then going into halftime with the lead. But they're able to cut into that 4-point deficit by getting a bucket right there. We're going to go through the GCU player stats here in a little bit as soon as we hit halftime. Teddy Boy says both these teams are very slow. Yeah, that's just GCU style. I don't know if that's naturally Gonzaga style. I mean, I think Gonzaga plays at a much higher pace. I mean, Rich Raz is tough. These tournament games are tough. You kind of have to play it smart. They're just tough to predict. I think college basketball, if you watch a ton of basketball, like if you're a sports bettor, like if I was a full-time sports bettor, let's say I had a $10,000 bankroll to start with, I'm only doing college basketball. It's the easiest sport to predict if you just actually watch it and study the game. Right? Because when we saw Arizona and when we saw Virginia go down, it didn't really surprise anybody that Virginia got put out. Of course, it's surprising when you look at the seeding, but if you've been watching Virginia play, it's not too surprising to people that actually watch them play. And the same thing with Arizona. Like earlier this year, I literally watched Arizona when they got up to number 2 in the country, playing at home, a game they should win, to Washington, one of the worst teams in that conference. And they allow Washington to walk into Arizona, into Tucson, and beat them by like 25 points. And you think to yourself, I don't know. How good are you? Are you just slightly overranked? How are you really that nice? Gonzaga misses the shot right there. Gonzaga with another offensive rebound nonetheless. Gonzaga with the possession, getting close to ending the half, 14 seconds left in the half. And they score the ball. Gonzaga shooting over 50% from the floor. They go up 40-36 to close out the half. And I think that's exactly how Mark Few wanted to end the half. I think his goal was just to get the lead back. He took GCU's first blow. And at least they go into halftime after being down the majority of this first half. They go into halftime with the lead. And as a coach, you can walk in the locker room and simply say, we ain't even been playing good basketball, and we still winning. You said Purdue's scared as hell right now? And Purdue, man, I mean, what is you doing getting in dogfights with the 16 seed? What is you doing getting in dogfights with the 16 seed? That just blows my mind right there. I mean, I'm about to tune back in. I went away from that game thinking I'm not even going to have to worry about it. We go to this game right here. It doesn't look like this Fairleigh Dickinson team. They're going very deep in the bench. They've only went 7 deep. And the guys that they're coming in off the bench actually went 8 deep. So they're not really going too deep into the bench. When you look at this Purdue team, Zach Edey with 18 points, 10 rebounds. Mason Gillis with 10 points, 6 rebounds. Outside of that, nobody else is in double digits or double figure scoring. You got Smith with 7 points, Fletcher Lloyd with 5, and Brandon Newman with 2. I think they expected a little bit more out of Brandon Newman. But it is what it is. GG Virgil says, I think the reason Arizona got stung, he said, I think the reason it got stung, he says, I literally picked the upset for that game. Watched them all year. They wasn't that good. And once they stepped out of conference, that's what happened. Yeah, they ran into a buzzsaw. And Princeton had good size, too. They had good size. Teddy Boy said, I'm not impressed with them either. I really wasn't ever impressed with them. Yeah, I knew they was pretty suspect to start. But we're gonna run down. Fairleigh Dickinson cuts that Purdue lead down to 1. Man, Purdue's on upset alert, man. Oh, no. Fairleigh Dickinson actually got back in the lead. They're about 2. Purdue ties the game on a Zach Edey layup, 49-49. They're in a dogfight. Told you, the longer you allow these lower-seeded teams to stay in the game, the more balanced the game becomes. It's starting to become equal now. Now they're on equal ground. Under 10 minutes to go, 49-49. This is anybody's game. The game just now becomes who can make who can go on the run the fastest. What team is going to be able to go on that 6-0, 8-0 run? Zach Edey with a monster block right there, though. Tough right there. Tough right there for the Boilermakers, man. As y'all come in, man, make sure y'all let me know your thoughts on this game. Grand Canyon University, GCU Lopes. Are you guys surprised that Bryce Drew has these guys in the game? He says if Purdue lost, if Purdue lost, that would be bad. That would be bad. But MC Robinson, you never know. That's the problem. You never know. Like, all it takes is having a one bad day. Craziness. All right, we at halftime right now. What I'm about to do, y'all, I got to run, man. I don't have to run. I'm just going to run and make me a cup of hot tea. I need some tea to finish off this game, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some sponsored music, man. Let's get our tunes for a little bit, man. We haven't even had our tunes playing all stream. Not impressive at all. It's not impressing anybody at all. We're going to be closely monitoring this Purdue game. 8 minutes to go in that game. 49-49. Can the Boilermakers hold on and not destroy everybody's parlay? Zach Edey with another rebound inside. They can't guard that man. He's just getting rebounds, going right back up. They can't do nothing with him. But on the flip side, Purdue can't stop them as well. And I think I'm having the same sentiments with this GCU team. They're able to score, but they don't have an answer for Gonzaga. And it's starting to look like Gonzaga was just missing shots and they're hitting their stride. And I think that's probably a problem. So I would like to see Bryce Drew come out this second half and be a bit more creative defensively. Maybe don't do the same things. Maybe throw something unique. Throw something out there that's going to make them adjust. Right? If you got to go through some type of 1-3-1 matchup zone for a few possessions, just to throw them off, just to get them thinking. just to change their rhythm. I think that those are some of the best things that coaches can do coming out of halftimes. How can we change this game? He said an and one for FDU. Purdue's up one. Yeah, and one right there. 51-50. 8 minutes to go in this half, man. The coach called it. He says, I think I can beat this team. Oh, man, and Purdue is looking beatable right now. Matt Painter, man, not another year of this, man. Not another year of this, Matt Painter, man. Damn. What is going on with the Purdue Boilermakers, man? The most vulnerable 1 seed that we've seen in history. All right, we got Drake in Miami, a slow-paced game. 7 minutes to go in that half, 13-13. You talk about defense. Or they defending. That's either a ton of good defense, or that's some bad offense. Kentucky up 3 versus Providence. Providence is cut to that lead just a little bit. Oh, did nobody call Wolf for Mason Gillis? They just let them come take the ball? Man. Oh, if that 3 would have went down. That 3 would have went down. Purdue would have been in trouble. Equal charge? Wow. That's a bad call. Jason Brown, what do you think about that call on Brandon Smith? What do you think about that call? They call that a charge? Wow. That's a bad call. He said after you won 4 games last year? Yeah. Rich Raz says just trap him and make him throw it up for grabs. Basically, but you know what, Rich Raz? One thing that I said I would do, if I had to coach against this Purdue team, I'm sending my guards out there. I'm saying Braden Smith and Fletcher Lloyd, the freshmen, they're great in the half court. They're not very good when you speed them up. I'm throwing all types of traps, presses, anything to speed them up. I'm throwing the whole house at them. Because when you allow them to set up in that half court and they can facilitate and dump that ball down there in the Edie, you done. You're gonna get cooked. If you get up on them guards and you just trap them, no ball pressure. I'm talking about all 94 feet, guarding them the whole length of the floor. Oh, the music's only playing because I was about to step away for 1 second. Let me just go ahead and do that while we're in halftime right now. Actually, man, we're gonna be following the game, man. I'll be right back in 1 second to pick up on the GCU Gonzaga game while I go grab a drink real quick, man. You guys enjoy the music, enjoy the stream, man. Appreciate everybody being here. See everybody watching on Facebook. I see everybody watching here on YouTube. Man, salute everybody that's pulled up. Make sure you smash the like, hit the subscribe while you're here, man. It's FYF Sports.
Extrabulous.
FYF Sports, man. Y'all watching this Purdue game. Y'all seeing it. Are we going to see history tonight, y'all? Are we going to see history tonight? Man. Braden Smith, the point guard. Like I said, y'all, apply pressure. 7 turnovers on the night. And you know, FDU is they're doing typical things that a 16 seed does, taking untimely threes, bad threes, guys that normally don't shoot are shooting. I mean, I'm just watching this guy keep shooting threes. He's shooting them flat and everything. Mason Gillis just airballs. That's nerves right there because he's really a good 3-point shooter. That's crazy right there. This Purdue team is folding right before our eyes. But sometimes, you know, these teams get tested. Sometimes these teams get tested. And if they get through this test, they'll make a run to win the whole thing. Because they got woke up. 3 minutes to go, 3:50 to go. They're taking dumb shots now. They're gonna put Purdue right back in it. The only way they beat Purdue is they keep playing fast. They get into the half court, they make dumb decisions. And if when they make the dumb decisions, they can't press the ball. Because Purdue can get into their half court. That's a knockdown. Braden Smith ain't missing. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. Salute to everybody in the chat. 483 in the building. Make sure y'all smash the like. Smash the like, man. crazy games today. We still got GCU Gonzaga. Yes, I'm saying FDU still winning. 3 minutes to go. I don't know. I have a funny feeling though, man. I have a funny feeling that they're gonna pull through. I have a funny feeling. Yeah, make sure y'all Sports Unorthodox. Make sure y'all smash that like on the way in here. I know a lot of y'all might be new. All right, smash the like. It's great for the video and the algorithm. Smash that like, support. All right. It definitely helps. Who do y'all got winning these games, man? We got 4 active games right now. Who do y'all got winning these games? You got Miami Drake. Could that be an upset brewing? Can Penn State, Indiana, another potential upset? Brewster says, I'm originally from Spokane. I have been a Zag fan for 24 years now. Go Zags. Salute to Brewster, man. Look, I'm a Lopez fan, but look, salute to you out there. I know you got to cheer your team on. I love Mark Few. I steal a lot of his sets when I'm coaching. But man, this year, this is not the same typical Gonzaga team. Normally Gonzaga teams are loaded with talent, whether it's from transfers or recruiting or just guys who've been there with experience. I think they're missing a little bit of that. And then with the way college basketball is changing, I think it's going to be hard for them to get back to that. I think they're going to have to find another way to be great. But Mark Few's one of the best recruiters in the game, right? I mean, if you look at a player like Corey Kispert, who kind of went under recruited, I mean, ton of players. James Hawthorne, he said, from Spokane, we got to pull it out, man. Salute, man. Two more people from Spokane, Washington. Look, I know one of my players went to Kings High School. I think it's called Kings. 2 of my players, they were brothers, the Zevenbergens. They're at Edmonds College right now. Austin Platt says, go Lopes. Salute to Austin Platt, man. Look, y'all, can the Lopes get it done? Right? Can the Lopes, we got a whole bunch of games on upset alert right now. Can the Lopes get it done? Austin Platt, make sure you let us know where you're from. How'd you become a Lopes fan? Not too many Lopes fans out there. He says, I don't think Gonzaga should be struggling with Grand Canyon. Not a good sign. I don't know. I mean, if I'm being honest, and I'm a GCU fan. If I'm being honest, I don't see that GCU's doing a ton that's really giving them problems. So I don't know, man. Yeah, Purdue fans in the stands looking like, man, not again. Not again. You don't even expect to have to be worried as a number 1 seed. This is GCU Gonzaga. We back in action. Gonzaga with the ball. I expect Gonzaga to come out to look to start this half with a goal, and that's to push this lead, to grow this lead. They want to do with another 10 minutes of going back and forth with GCU. I mean, my goal would be to pound the ball into Drew Timme, and I would have him simply go at Ujiago every single time. But they go inside there, they missed a shot, and we'll see how GC looks on the offensive side of the ball. Salute to Mingle Jester in the chat. Teddy boy, I see you. All the new people in the chat, I've been seeing fans for Gonzaga. I've been seeing Lopes fans, right? No matter what type of fan you are, when you come in, make sure you smash the like, hit the subscribe. FDU's at the free throw line, 2:50 to go in that game, 55-53. Their best player goes in. Ooh, that's kind of a suspect call right there that sent him to the free throw line, but he knocks down the free throw, 55-53. He knocks down both free throws, giving them a 3-point lead. Who can FDU hold on? Or will we see the upset of the year? And they're still throwing that press at Purdue University as we see GCU scored a bucket right there. 38-40, man. 2 potential upsets brewing right now, potentially with the Lopes, and also, and as Purdue misses Purdue misses another three. Edey, the rebound is snatched away from him. FDU with the ball with 2:20 left on the clock, and they're looking to extend this game to a 2-possession game with 2 minutes to go. This is crazy right here. He said, I watched that Rutgers game with Purdue. It was bad for the Boilermakers. It's like Rutgers always beats them. And then Rutgers usually gives everybody the formula for how to beat Purdue. They're usually the team, like if I'm coaching, I'm going to go watch Rutgers over the last 2 years. And that's the game plan I'm using to beat them. Look, they're pounding the ball into Edey, and they're sending the whole house down there. And that's their flaw. That's Purdue's flaw. They're trying to go down to Edey too much. They don't have much movement. GCU misses a shot right there. Gonzaga with the rebound, 22 rebounds on the night for the Zags, and the Zags are able to come right back down and score a 3-point shot, extending that lead 43-38. And the Lopes can't not let this game get away from them. They do not have the depth defensively or offensively. But that game is going down to the wire. That's going to get tough. So Lopes missed another shot. He says, FYF, he says, where do you think Drew Timme will fall in the draft? Unfortunately, I think Drew Timme is going to fall to the second round, Brewster. I think Drew Timme had an opportunity a couple years ago when he was a freshman to come out and be a first-round draft pick. Now that I think he's stuck around, I think he stuck around a bit too long. And I think he exposed, for the last 2 years, some of his flaws. And that's ultimately going to hurt him. I don't see Drew Timme as a legitimate NBA big. His freshman year, his value was high, and that's because there was a lot of unknowns surrounding him. Now we kind of know who he is. I think that's one of the downsides to staying in college too long. Only 1 minute and change to go. It looks like Gonzaga's offense has woke up 47-40. Can the Lopes find a way to make another run similar to that run that they were able to make when they were down 7-0? Can they make a run? And one bucket that sends Gonzaga to the free throw line. Did you see the smoke around? Yeah, I saw a story that was going around, Miles. I believe there is some truth to it. And if it is true, that's extremely unfortunate, man, what he's dealing with right now. And the fact that it's bothering his mental to the degree where he can't play, that's not a good sign either. So I bet right now, the only thing you can do right now is just try to support him and hopefully get his head back right, if it's true. You said the Duke game is – hold on. You said out Duke game on? I don't know what that means. Mr. B 6,122. I don't know what that means. Out Duke? But salute, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up to the stream today. 503 in the chat. Watching a couple different games. Purdue is on upset alert, right? I thought for a while when they went up by 5 points, 46-41, that they had the game in control. But it looks like FDU is for real, and they were able to bounce back. Not just bounce back, but take the lead. Mr. B says Purdue is about to lose. 144 left in that game. We'll find out. We'll find out what they made of. As Gonzaga scores another bucket, 50-42. They're up 8. That lead is growing 5 minutes into the half, and they are making it hard on the Lopes, man. They're making them play from behind, and they're, like I said, this is just not a Lope team that's built to play from behind. They don't have the defenses. They come down and score another bucket right there, 52-42. Zags are up 10. Purdue knocks down a 3, cuts it to 56. Fletcher Lloyd with a 3 ball. 123 left. Close game. Definitely a close game. Fletcher Lloyd is one of the best shooters to come out of the state of Indiana. He's from Fort Wayne. A lot of people didn't know him. He went extremely under recruited. But I bet a lot of coaches are mad that they missed out on him because he's definitely he definitely plays like a 4-star player. If Purdue loses, at least it wasn't as bad as Virginia got blown out. But again, a loss is a loss. To lose to a 16 seed, like if we just think like 10 years ago, and I want y'all, and anybody that follows college basketball, 10 years ago, whenever you turn the game on and a 16 seed was playing a 1, the score would be like 85-20, 85-30. Like these games generally were never close. The fact now that we've seen 16 seeds consistently play 1 seeds close is crazy. Like it's just crazy, the level of competition out there, the players that exist out there. Like there was never this much talent. The fact that so many players could get under-recruited, that you can put together a squad that can legitimately compete against a 1 seed, like legitimately have a chance to beat them. FDU scores another bucket, 61-56, a minute to go in that game. Purdue's defense cannot hold. That coach has instilled a level of confidence in them. I don't know if Purdue can bounce back from it. I don't know if they have the players, right? If they would have had a Carson Edwards, if they had a dynamic scorer out there, maybe, but they don't have that. And this team, the smallest team in the country, has shut down Zach Edey. Isn't that something else? The smallest team in the country. FDU is the smallest team in the country. And they're shutting down the biggest player in Zach Edey. Like, man, oh, man. Minute and 3 to go. Minute and 3 to go, man. Did the Boilermakers fall? All right. I mean, Matt Painter's got to just be, just the type of luck that he has in these tournaments, man. But it all goes down to recruiting, man. I mean, here's the problem with recruiting, because sometimes you got to go out there and get them guys. They might be headaches in the locker room. They might be headaches in practice. They might even be a tinge cancerous on the bench. But when it's time to go, them dudes know how to put the ball on the floor and go get buckets. Sometimes you got to go recruit 1 or 2 of them guys, and then you just kind of deal with the back blow from it. Purdue ain't got none of them. They ain't got none of them. Minute to go in this game. Can Purdue score? They have to score this possession to stay alive. All right, a foul right there. Fletcher Lloyd. Looks like he's probably going to be going to the free throw line. 55 seconds left. Yeah, Fletcher Lloyd going to the free throw line. 55 seconds to go. He can cut this lead down. Fletcher Lloyd knocks it down with ease, as you expect the shooter to do. All the while we talking about Purdue, Gonzaga is slowly pulling away from the Lopes, man. Fletcher Lloyd is able to knock down both shots, 61-58, 55 on the clock. They take Fletcher Lloyd out, defense for offense. Can they get a stop? And Purdue's not really applying pressure in the backcourt. And the guards for FDU just get through the Purdue press like it's nothing. 61-58, 40 seconds on the clock. The 1 seed is in trouble. The 1 seed is in trouble, y'all. The 1 seed is in trouble. Edey with the block. He's not able to get the ball. What? Oh, man. Edey with the block, but none of the Boilermakers ran to the ball. They just let it bounce there. Wow. Edey with the great block. All right, the refs are going to go look it over again. They think it might be Purdue ball. We'll see. But Edey with a good block. Swarm to the ball. Look, none of them swarm. They allow, four Purdue jerseys. And then the one FDU player gets in there and gets his hand on ball. Now they're reviewing the play to see who was out on. Oh, he just lost the ball. Oh, that's out on FDU. That's Purdue ball. That's going to be Purdue ball. They can't call the foul. That's out on FDU. You got to give it back to the Boilermakers. You said it's FDU ball. I don't know what the call is yet. I'm watching it. Maybe I'm behind. I mean, both Purdue players in the vicinity hit each of his arms. The fact that they didn't call a foul, like you see Braden Smith and the other guard, both guards smacked him on the arm. The ref called it. So we'll see what they call it. Purdue's going home, y'all. Purdue's going home. No way. He got fouled. He definitely got fouled. It should have been a foul. But the problem is the refs didn't call foul. And I don't know if they can go back and recall the foul. If they don't call the foul, the ball went out on FDU. Refs just going to have to eat that one. They took an L on that one. Man, oh man. He says Edie is going to the European League if they lose. Man, the Boilermakers put themselves in this position, though. Not being able to defend in the transition. Not being able to have the versatility to do other things than just dump the ball into Edie. It all falls back to them. And on top of the fact that they were able to take the lead back. They took the lead back. They were up 5. I mean, they were rolling. I'm not sure why we keep replaying this. The ball was out on FDU. And they can't go. I don't know if they can go back and call a foul, but it should be a foul in Purdue where the refs didn't call that. It's only about who touched it last before it went out of bounds. Oh, the refs definitely are seeing the foul. The problem is now they have to ignore the foul, and if you ignore the foul, you can clearly see the ball is out on FDU. I'm not for sure if this helps Purdue at all, but it is what it is. Look at Hoosier proud. He says, "Not surprised. This is so Purdue." Hey, it is what it is. Hey, you better make sure your Hoosiers don't lose to Kent State. Y'all on upset alert too. So what's the call? Look, I think they gave the ball to Purdue. I'm looking at the faces of FDU. I think they gave the ball to Purdue. I'm going to turn the sound up a little bit. Purdue has the ball. Shot clock is off, y'all. Purdue has the ball. Shot clock is off. FDU cannot foul. Smith picks his dribble up. 18 seconds left. Painter calls the timeout. John Marcus says, "I don't watch college basketball. Hitman X is in the chat. Salute to Hitman X." He says, "Yeah." Yeah, that's a foul. The refs have to let another foul go. The refs are blowing it late game in this one. And we are watching Grand Canyon and Gonzaga. Gonzaga, since the half, they have taken off and they've really separated themselves from the Lopes, man. 57-42. GCU's really just struggling to score to the ball out of the half. We're definitely talking about Brewster. Yeah, the Zags are definitely up now. They're up big. And it doesn't look like there's no path for victory for the Lopes, man. Are the Boilermakers going to not just bust everybody's bracket, but completely obliterate everybody's parlays and bets. Because if you had a parlay and you didn't put Purdue in your parlay, you're just crazy. But I think it's going to come to a point in time, you guys. I think it's going to come to a point in time where we got to start looking at Matt Painter in these moments. Why consistently has he not been able to have any success in the NCAA tournament? Purdue with the ball. They're struggling to get it in. They get the ball in. Fletcher Lloyd has the ball, 18 seconds on the clock. They run a zoom action for Braden Smith. He gets to the basket. The shot's blocked out of bounds. 12 seconds on the clock. 12 seconds on the clock, man. And Purdue is 12 seconds away from being the second number one seed in history to go home. Braden Smith goes up very weak, another small guard, gets his shot swatted out of bounds. You got to start playing above the rim. Braden Smith has to be able to elevate and get that ball on the glass. Look at Brewster. He's talking about every Gonzaga bucket. 12 seconds to go in this game. Purdue calls a timeout. Salute to Cam the Hooper. He says, how much time left in the Purdue game? It's 12 seconds to go. 12.5 seconds to go. Purdue is down 3. The number one seed is down to the 16 seed. I never thought that the one time Purdue is able to get a number one seed, that they would lose to a 16. Wow. This is crazy right here. FYF, talk about the Zags moving to the Big 12. Do you think that'd be a smart move? I don't think it'd be a smart move. Now, it will, in a sense, kind of be a good move because it's going to open up a new level of recruiting. It will open up a new level of recruiting. But I think they've had a ton of success where they are. So if they do move conferences, Brewster, I think it's going to be a financially driven move. I think it's going to, and because right now they're probably dishing out a ton of money to stay where they are. Right? They're probably paying teams a ton of money to come play them because when you get that good in such a small conference, teams don't really want to come play you. Uh-oh. They tried to lob play at the rim for Edey. Is not there. Lawyer airballs the 3. They choked it. They choked it away. Fletcher Lawyer took a bad 3, airballed it, FDU with the rebound, and then they have to foul. And FDU will be moving on to the second round. And this is wild right here. This is wild. You says, ain't Texas moving to the SEC? I don't know. I know there's going to be a ton of movement, though. Aren't there some Pac-10 teams moving to the Big Ten? Game time. There's no way. They lost. Wow. I cannot believe what we just watched, y'all. We literally just watched one of the biggest upsets in NC. 0.6 seconds left on the clock. Purdue is down 5. Why would you call a timeout? FDU, man. Wow. FDU upsets Purdue University 63-58. And I was hoping that the upset would come with GCU beating Gonzaga, but it looks like the Zags basically said, nah, not us. We not going to be that team. Y'all ain't about to have us looking crazy, embarrassing us as a higher seeded team. The Zags said, nah, we ain't going. Yeah, that timeout was a troll. Insane Big J. That timeout with 0.6 seconds left was a troll. That was unnecessary. They're up 5. Why call a timeout? Just let the ball go in bounds. You win the game. As soon as the ball comes in bounds, you win the game. There's absolutely not enough time left on the clock for Purdue to do anything. Game over. Purdue turns it over. And the 16, told you, the 16 seed is running around like they just won the national championship, which for them, this is a national championship. Wow. Fairleigh Dickinson beats Purdue University. Wow. And all of my parlays are completely in the garbage can now because Purdue. He says, yeah, for real, Oklahoma and Texas to the Big Ten. I thought like UCLA, I thought it was one of the Pac-10 teams. Yeah, I thought it was like USC and UCLA moving to the Big Ten, which I didn't understand. Because I thought teams got into conferences. So when they play games, they're not flying across the country all the time to play each other. I mean, if USC and UCLA join the Big Ten, like what's the point of conferences now? Because it's not even a normal conference. He says Purdue lost to Frederick Douglass University. Hey, look, Hitman X. I'm with GCU now, man. I'm not. Y'all can't keep coming in here. You can't troll me with the Purdue stuff. I don't coach at Purdue no more, man. That's on them. That's on them. Even though GCU's getting it handed to them right now by Gonzaga, they losing by 20. But man, oh man, you know, I thought there would be upsets today. I didn't think this would be one of them. I thought there would be upsets today. I did not think this would be one of them. And Purdue's got to go back to the drawing board. Like, and Painter's gonna, and you know, this is where Painter, you know, one of the biggest losses to that coaching staff was when they lost Micah Shrew to Penn State. And you know, he was their recruiter, right? He was the one getting the guys like Jaden Ivey, right? You have a guy like Jaden Ivey that can score, you don't lose this game. They were missing that. You leave the recruiting up to Painter, and Painter goes to the farmlands of Indiana, and he gets Braden Smith, and then he goes to Fort Wayne to go get Fletcher Lawyer. 2 good young players that can shoot the ball. But when you need to go win a game, they can't do it. They can't score without a play being ran for them. That's what I'm saying. FDU shouldn't even be in the tournament. They won 4 games last year. Yeah, Purdue is out, Mahari. It's over with for Purdue. And I don't even want to look at my brackets right now. I don't want to look at my parlays. I don't want to look at my brackets. It's all over with. It's all done. Vegas is going crazy. Vegas just made a ton of money. Vegas just took a ton of people's money. Purdue loses, man. I never thought. Look, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all, they had Purdue as a negative 5,000, y'all. Right? Sometimes you're a heavy – look, you guys, you're a heavy favorite. You're a heavy favorite if you're like a negative 850. They had Purdue as a minus 5,000. Like, for FDU to win this game, it's like 1 in a million. It's ridiculous right here. Purdue loses to FDU in the first round. And if I'm Purdue University administration, Matt Painter got to be on the hot seat, right? We talk about, y'all, we talk about coaches not getting it done and X, Y, and Z. But if I'm Purdue University, I got to put Painter on the hot seat. Because it's been year after year after year after year where his teams, and remember, the goal of getting a higher seed in the NCAA tournament, it's only to make your path easier. It's not necessarily to showcase that you're the much better team. The goal of having a higher seed is to make your path easier. To play a 16 in the first round as opposed to a 10 seed or 7 seed or 8-9 game, those are much more difficult games. And so for Matt Painter, y'all, for Matt Painter consistently as 3 seeds, as 5 seeds, as the 4 seed, right? As the 1 seed now. Remember last year, lost in the Sweet 16 to St. Peter's. Right? This dates all the way back to when one of my homies played for Purdue. And when they lost under Matt Painter to Cleveland State and to Arkansas State. If you look at the list of teams that's put Purdue University out of the tournament, there was really only 1 year where they actually played up to expectation. And that was the year when they had Carson Edwards and they lost to Virginia in the Elite Eight. Outside of that year, losing to Arkansas State, Cleveland State, Arkansas Little Rock, St. Peter's, FDU. It's starting to become a pattern now. Look, and we all know, look, I don't think Matt Painter's going to get fired. Right? That's right. I don't believe he'll get fired. But at the end of the day, if I'm the administration, we got to start doing something different. Because they've dished out and put a ton of money into that program. Building a new practice facility for him, which is nice. The new weight room facility. Obviously, Drew Brees sponsored the academic center, but they put a ton of money into the academic and learning center for the basketball players and the football players. They're pumping a lot of money into that program. Teddy Boy says, 5 straight seasons of losing to double-digit seeds. I don't know if it's 5 straight seasons. I mean, it might be. I'm going to have to look it up. Let me see real quick. Let me pull it up. Purdue University, Purdue basketball, turning history. Because I know everybody's looking this up right now. This is wild right here. All right, here it is right here. Okay, I got a list right here, but it's not telling who they lost to. I need a list that tells who they lost to. I think this one does. And salute to everybody in here, man. GCU, Gonzaga's taking care of business. They're up 69-52. They're doing what they're supposed to do. This is not telling me everything. I don't know why this is so hard to find. He says Iowa did lose, but Penn State pulled upset. But but Steve Fisher, Penn State didn't surprise me. Penn State has one of the best head coaches in the country that nobody knows about. Like as soon as I saw that matchup, I didn't care who Texas A&M had. I didn't care. Penn State has an elite coach, right? Remember that their head coach was the associate head coach at Purdue. He was the guy that was bringing in all the heavy hitters, like Jaden Ivey. Right? He was the one identifying all the talent. When he left, I said, now they're going to struggle with bringing in that diverse talent, that non-pattern talent, them guys, those NBA level guys that really can help you win these games when everybody else is struggling. I mean, there's a lot of things that Purdue can look to. I mean, they can blame the refs. There was a couple bad calls, obviously, at the end of that game. But when you lose to a 16 seed, you got to look to yourself. You got to look in the mirror. Well, none of these lists are telling who they lost to. All right, here we go. Right here. But it's almost like they had the articles pre-written on Purdue because there's so many people with articles already out, full-fledged articles on this. Just like people had it pre-written. That's unbelievable right there, y'all. But we got some games on the slate still. We still got a ton of basketball left, y'all. There's still a ton of basketball. Obviously, we got the Gonzaga game that's going to be finishing out. 6 minutes to go in that game. Kentucky, a team that I feel like is underseeded a bit. Obviously had kind of a down year, but I think they're starting to peak at the right time. They're beating a really good Providence team that I think this Providence team was a tinge underseeded as well. I think they should have been a 9 or a 10 seed. We have Purdue going down. Drake is up by 4 versus Miami, which, again, it doesn't surprise me. That's a very good Drake team. I told you guys about that before the game even started. It would not surprise me to see Drake win that game. And then we got 3 more games. We got Kansas State, Montana. This is just to finish up all the first-round games. Memphis versus FAU, and you got Indiana, Kent State. Man, oh, man. Purdue University, they fall on the wrong side of history with a loss to 16 seeded to the 16 seed Fairleigh Dickinson University, man. Hell of a season. They spent a lot of time ranked the number 1 team in the country, right? They probably had the consensus player of the year in Zach Edey. And man, oh man. Okay. I mean, we see coaches get for ton of reasons. I mean, if you're the president of a university, this would definitely make me consider it. I put it like that. If you're the president of a university, I might not fire Matt Painter because of his history, but you got to consider it, y'all. Mr. Right On, he says, Oink, Hitman X, he says, they need you back on the coaching staff. I'll be, look, but Hitman, when I was at Purdue, I was coaching the Purdue University club team. Y'all know what we did. We won the national championship. Like I told you, any team that I'm coaching, we ain't losing. I'm not with that losing. Like if I'm coaching, we ain't none of this getting bumped out early X's, ain't none of that. No, sir. We are not losing. right? But what you have to do though, Hitman X, and one thing I've learned over time is that you have to coach your team up, right? You have to be able to coach your team up to contend against different styles, right? So when you run into a team like FDU, smallest team in the country, probably more scrappy than skill, right? They're probably more scrappy than skill. So, they're going to come out, they're going to be fouling, they're going to be grabbing. They probably was doing a ton of talk crazy. Probably, and we can't hear it on the court, but I almost guarantee you they was down there talking crazy, calling them trash, calling them white boys. They was using every trick in the book to get an edge. I promise you. And so what you have to do is you have to prepare your team for those types of styles. So when I schedule out, like right now, when I schedule out, there's certain schools that I know are going to be problems, like PHH and Hillcrest, right? A whole bunch of guys that are talented, but they're going to talk, they're going to chirp, they're going to want to fight. So you got to bring in different types and then I might bring in an AZ Compass. More well-coached, more disciplined, run a ton of zone. All right, we're going to play them. Then we're going to play a South Mountain. Okay, more size. They play more elite competition, more talented. We're going to play them. And we did the same thing when I coached the Purdue University club team. You prepare them so when you get into these one-and-done settings and we run up against a team like a FDU, okay, we know how to handle these teams. Oh, they like to talk a lot. All right, we know how to handle. Okay, they small. All right, we know how to handle that. But if you don't prepare for any type of scenario and you just content on playing your style and you don't want to budge off playing your style, then you find yourself losing like this. Matt Painter's stuck in his style. They were only at the late game. You got players like Mason Gillis, who's extremely talented, Braden Smith, who's a good freshman, Fletcher Lloyd, who's a good freshman, right? You still got a Mr. Basketball on your bench that I didn't even see play much this game. Freshman guy that I think could have came in and banged with them guys. He didn't even play much. Caleb Foss, first, who's a Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana, didn't play much. When I see that going on, that tell me you stuck in one style. Because if they would have won, since they went small, I would have went small right with them. I would be like, all right, let me put my smalls in. We about to go small right with you. If you want to take Zach Edey out the game, that's fine. Look at Jack of Hearts. He said, in New Jersey, baby, when is the country going to learn? What's in New Jersey? Is FDU from New Jersey? Because I don't think anybody in here knows where FDU is. Purdue has weak guards and wing players. I don't know if their wing players are weak, but their guard play was weak. Their point guard, Braden Smith, 7 turnovers on the night. I told y'all a week ago what the strategy would be to beat them. Full court ball pressure on their guards. And because Painter loves his guards so much, because the guards that he plays dump the ball in the post over and over and over again the way he likes to play, he don't sub them out. How is Braden Smith still playing high minutes as a freshman, walking around with 6 turnovers, y'all? How do you not have the gumption? How do you not have the fortitude as a coach to take him out and say, I got to go with somebody else who can get it done? Or do you not have anybody else because you can't recruit? Do you not have anybody else because guards are tired? Guards don't want to commit to your school because the only thing you want to do as a coach is dump the ball into the paint. I mean, if you look at their team, look, they had I'm talking about, look, they got 2 Mr. Basketballs. In the Kaufman guy, I forget his last name. He has 2 last names. You got Caleb First, who's a Mr. Basketball. He's another forward. I would have put David Jenkins Jr. I would have put Jenkins Jr. as the primary ball handler at the point. I would have played Ethan Morton the entire game, probably as another guard. I would have had Fletcher Lloyd at the 3. I would have just went small with them. I would have moved let Fletcher Lloyd to the 3. I would have had Ethan Morton and Jenkins Jr. as my 1 and my 2. And then I would have probably put Mason Gillis and Caleb first. But he tried to impose a style of play on a team that game plan specifically for that. And so when they game plan for that, why don't you throw a curveball at them and do something completely different that they didn't game plan for? We got Steve Fisher. He says Jersey is a shithole, but at least their players get to go on the road. I don't know. I've played out there a few times when I was at Chicago State. I just don't remember I don't remember anything that I saw or did other than basketball. He says Painter had Jaden Ivey and lost to St. Peter's. Yeah, he did. But they lost to St. Peter's because of his coaching, that style of coaching, right? There's really only been 1 year where he said where he couldn't just dump the ball into the paint over and over and over. And that was when he had Carson Edwards and they went to the Elite Eight. But that's because they didn't have a true interior big. So they had to rely on Carson Edwards from the perimeter. But when he has good bigs, like when he has the Isaac Haas's, the Caleb Swannigans, the AJ Hammonds, when he has the legitimate bigs, he will feed it to him too much. And teams will just sit in the paint. And we're not talking about dynamic bigs like an Anthony Davis or anything. We're talking about bigs that are just purely back to the basket and they need to get a clean post move off to get their shot off. These are not guys that can face up, right, go around you and dunk on you. FDU won't win another game. FDU's not going to beat Memphis. They're not going to be they're not going to be the team that's not stuck in the old way of playing. And we're watching Gonzaga, man. Gonzaga just activated, man. The Gonzaga started that second half, and unlike the Purdue University Boilermakers, man, Gonzaga just basically said, we're going to play our style of play. All right. And they didn't go for the okie doke. I never thought GCU had the defense to slow up the Gonzaga offense. Gonzaga is one of the best scoring teams in the country. I mean, for GCU to really win this game, they would have needed to put up at least 85 points. And as we can see, they don't have the scoring. They have 50, they have 65 points on the board now. The scores with 1 minute to go in the game. I would assume that Bryce Drew's going to empty the bench and let some of the younger guys get in. But it's been a crazy day of basketball already. All right. Gonzaga doing what they need to do. They're going to be moving on to the second round. Kentucky beat Providence. Kentucky beats Providence 61-53. And then we have in the second half, Drake versus Miami. Drake is up 44-37. This is a battle of two defensive teams. And Drake is the 12 seed. Obviously, that 5-12 matchup is not where you want to be. That's where we see the most upsets. But this year's been all over the place. And we still got 4 more games tonight, y'all. Or actually, do we got more than 4? We got Arizona State TCU. That's going to be a good game. I believe Arizona State beats TCU, another lower-seeded team that I believe will move on. I believe Kent State can beat Indiana. Will I be surprised if Indiana wins? No. But I believe Kent State can beat Indiana. I believe Memphis should beat FAU. So we'll see how it goes. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, we got another Kansas fan in here. Look, yeah, I like Kansas, but Kansas had a major turnover last year with players. Major turnover with players. So it's hard to really have the same success, right? They lost a ton of guys to the NBA. They did a good job of replenishing that talent and then bringing up guys from their bench back into their rotation. So we just have to see how it goes. We have to see how it goes. And it's also going to be on how your road is getting paved. And obviously upsets like what we saw today make your road much easier. Right? So a team like Memphis, now Memphis is a new Final Four contender. Right? Purdue's out their way now. All they got to do is get through FDU, which I believe if Memphis plays FDU, it's going to be a 20, 25-point blowout. I don't think Penny Hardaway's going to play around with them. GCU knocks down the 3 right there, trying to make the score look respectable more than what it is. 55 seconds left in that game, though. They're just not going to be able to score enough points to get back into it. The tail of the tape for that game with GCU is the shooting. GCU shot 45% from the 3. Gonzaga shot 50%. They shot 50% from the field, from the 2-point range as well. So GCU's inability to defend the size and the shooting, that's the one thing. And you allow Gonzaga to shoot that well from the floor, it's just a matter of time. In the Drake game, we just watched Miami just went on a big time run. As Drake is forced to call a timeout, the score is 44-44 with 10-10 left in the half, man. So we got some good games left on the slate, man. Memphis, FAU, I'm going to be watching that. The Arizona State TCU game, I'm definitely going to be watching that. He says, I think FAU wins tonight. I don't know. I mean, they might match up perfectly. I don't know if there's such thing as a perfect matchup, especially when FAU has been playing inferior talent all year. But Memphis is battle tested, y'all. Right? They're 9-3 versus quad one teams. They've been battle tested. They've been through the ringer. Like they've played a ton of good teams. They beat a ton of good teams. Penny has shown what he can do in the tournament. I don't see FAU beating them. I believe that Memphis blows them out. I just don't see it. Jack of Hearts, man, salute. He says, hey, I went to BC in the 70s. We never did anything like this. What do you mean? What do you mean? Anything like what? He says, Miami is missing their top player. Yeah, I heard about that. So. We just got to see. Got a lot of stuff on the plate tonight, though, y'all. Oh, yeah, I got to fix my comments, man. All right. It says FYF. So I know you're watching your boys with GCU, but your boy Young Africa is frying ticker. But look, MC Robinson. That don't surprise me. Like, Young Africa frying ticket is a common thing. It actually happens all the time. If you just go listen to Ticket TV, like Young Africa is not opposed to going elsewhere and cooking you over there. He been cooking ticket a long time. Now he's just doing it on a bigger platform, which I salute to him for being able to go get on that platform. The fact that he's able to get on Player Choice and cook ticket. You see now what's happening at Player's Choice now is when ticket starts to get cooked and he gets into these rants and these raves and won't stop talking and keeps telling people to hold on, they just boot him up out of there. Get your ass up out of here. You want to keep talking? You want to keep trying to overtalk people? You want to keep blurting stuff out like ADHD Herm? We're going to get you up out of here and you come back tomorrow and try again. And when you start to lose your composure to that degree, it only means one thing. It means you're getting cooked severely. All right, GCU, man, 22 seconds left in this game. They're doing their best to try to make this game respectable. I got to give a shout out to the Lopes for having a great season this year. Salute to the coaching staff. Y'all need to check the channel out. I've done interviews with two of the coaches. I've done an interview with Jamal Walker and Casey Shaw. My goal is to get Ray Harrison on here to talk about his future. I want to get Gabe McLaughlin on the panel for an interview, talk about his future. What's he going to do? He still has another year eligibility. So I'm going to be reaching out to some of the Purdue staff and players, man, just to do a recap of the season, man. How do you feel about this year? Because last year did not end on the best of terms. You had that season ended. You had players upset with the coaching staffs. You had the coaching staff not really feeling a few of the players. I mean, you had guys transferring out. So, it is crazy. It's crazy how this, how this basketball thing works. But this year, I'm curious to see how the season ends. I think they're ending on much better terms. It seems like that team has a lot better camaraderie. Disrespect FYF. I'm still kind of new around here. But yeah, MC Robinson, I know, but I'm definitely going to go listen. If Young Africa's cooking, I might have to react to that. Because I've been telling the people about Young Africa. I was like, man, I got my Fab Five. Because, we're gonna be doing an FYF Sports versus Players Choice debate this summer. Obviously, it's something that got to get planned out, but my Fab Five is going to be tough. The Fab Five we have over here is going to be tough. It's going to be tough to just sit there and out debate us, right? You're not going to just be able to sit down without doing real basketball research. You're not going to be able to out debate Young Africa. You're not going to be able to out debate Sturdy. You're not going to be able to out debate me and whoever else I bring on. But we got to see how it goes, man. We got some more games tonight, though, man. We got some more games coming tonight. So I'll be watching, man. Y'all got to let me know, what are y'all thoughts, man? How do y'all think the rest of the games are going to play out? But GCU season is ended, 82-70 loss to the Gonzaga, and then their run this year is over. And what a run it was to get back to the tournament as a 5 seed in the WAC. A ton of injuries, a ton of ups and downs. How do they bounce back next year? I mean, I'm interested to see what recruits they have coming in. So it's gonna be a sight to see, man. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. Wild Wild West says, I'm 100% top one. Wild Wild West, nah. I don't know. You haven't debated anybody yet. Like, the debates that we do, it's not about you thinking you're the best. You very well may be the best. But if we put you in a debate setting where you got 2 minutes around and you got to go back and forth and you got to be able to have the wit and the quickness to counter people's points on the fly, can you perform under pressure is the biggest key. And that's like when you talk about somebody like True the King, has the knowledge in his head. Sometimes his execution is bad, which is what's cost him a few losses in the debates. So again, it's about how well you can deliver the goods, not just you have them. Shank, the university, he says Izzo. So I'm assuming he's referring to Tom Izzo. Not for sure what he's talking about with Tom Izzo, but he says something about Izzo. Salute, man. Salute. Look, y'all, man. Make sure y'all support, man, before we get up out of here. Hit the Cash App to support the channel, man. NCAA live stream today, man. Just going through some of these games, man. A lot of these games, there's a lot of surprising. He says Young Africa's cooking ticket and Herm right now. I know. I got first. Somebody already came in here and told me, when we shut this down, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to definitely, if Young Africa really put them dudes in the pot, I'm definitely going to be doing a reaction to it. God first. But like I said, we talking about Young Africa. Like, I've already told you guys, I've already made this well established that he's one of the elite debaters. And he knows how to put on performance with it. So while debating you, I've been telling you, Herm is too slow with it. Herm can't think. And Herm's problem, Wild West, is that Herm likes to use talking points and not facts. And then it's you can use talking points to like phrases and terms and narratives, but you got to have some type of context to back it up. He just likes to say the flashy, most popular talking points and narratives without any context behind it. And then when you challenge him on his context and when you challenge his narratives with stats and facts, he gets mad at you for using stats and facts. He says, man, you using stats, man. You using analytics. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like when you using fake narratives and I combat it with facts, stats, and facts and analytics, come on, man. But yeah, we definitely gonna be checking that out. Hold on, how many likes we got on the video? How many likes? Because man, if y'all not liking the video, I should be hitting the Cash App to support. One of the two should be happening. Let me see how many likes we got on this video. Oh man, we had 500 people in here. We should have at least 100 likes, y'all. Sometimes my likes ain't fully updated. Sometimes the likes come after the stream. Let me look at my studio. Real quick. Maybe I'm not caught up. All right, well, I'm looking at my studio. So we had 116 likes. I guess it ain't just registered on YouTube all the way yet, but we had 116 likes, man. Let's smash that like button, get a few more likes in here. He says FDU won't win another, but these kids in NJ, that's what I'm saying, Jack of Hearts. This is they will forever go down, be etched in history. Right? Like a lot of these kids on this team, when their basketball careers, a lot of their basketball careers are going to end once they hang up, once they leave FDU, once they graduate or decide to leave school. And at least they can leave with a memory now that they can literally tell that, you know, they're like, you turn 50, 60 years old, you could tell your grandkids, look, you know, I was one of the only people that would be the number one seed. They could probably finesse the story, add a whole bunch of sauce onto it and everything. But they definitely beat the one seed, man. So we got USC. USC beat Michigan State earlier today. The 7 seed defeats the 10. TCU, Arizona, Kansas State, Montana, Kent State, Indiana coming up. Memphis, FAU. All these games are coming up. We got the Drake, Miami game. A lot of stuff coming up, man. A lot of stuff coming up. But look, y'all, look. We're going on 2 hours, man. GCU game is over. Purdue's already got obliterated, and their hopes and dreams are decimated. I'm going to go ahead and get this one shut down. I definitely appreciate everybody that pulled up today for the stream. Like I said, I wish the games would have been a bit more exciting, but it is what it is. It's the NCAA tournament. You never know what you're going to get. But like I said, we just had to give a little support to the GCU Lopes. Win or lose, they've had a great season. And they can come back to campus with their heads held high. You know, they did something that a lot of people didn't think they would be able to do going into the WAC tournament. They were able to turn it around and make a very, very good run. I mean, and for one half of basketball, they did have a lot of people questioning if Gonzaga will make it through this round. And you know, that's something to look to you know, to pride yourself on, especially as a mid-major school. Pride yourself on that. All right, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this one shut down. Great games. Great again, appreciate everybody pulling up, man. I see a ton of you guys was over on Facebook. Salute to everybody on Facebook making this video go big. Everybody that's watching on Twitter, and then everybody that's watching on YouTube, man. To talk combined over 400 people in here, man. So Wild West says my research is unlimited. He's sitting here going back and forth about it. We just got to see Wild West. Maybe you can make the Fab Five, but I mean, as it stands right now, I probably wouldn't throw you in there right now. I just can't trust you in a head-to-head debate right now. Not if you're gonna be walking around saying stuff like you could be a great defender without being a physical player. You know, if you're walking around saying stuff like that, then we got to get you back to the drawing board. But yeah, it's FYF Sports Management, another great podcast episode. Salute to the Lopes once again. Salute to all the Lope fans. Salute to all the Gonzaga fans that came out and watched the live stream. We're going to get up out of here. We're going to be back live tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in for the morning stream. We're going to be going live at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make sure you guys tune in. All right, we're going to be back to the NBA talk. A lot of things to cover there. And we're going to be talking a little bit of NCAA as well to follow these tournament games as well. But it's FYF Sports. Another great podcast episode. We're going to be back with more sports and news. Until then, it's FYF Sports. And we out.
do a